There's something almost magical about opening someone's closet and coming across the t-shirts lined up like a perfect rainbow, the books classified by size and cover color, or the refrigerator where each jar of spices follows an impeccable color palette. While most people unceremoniously toss their socks in the drawer, they spend minutes, sometimes hours, adjusting tones, creating gradients, as if life were a blank canvas and each object a necessary brushstroke. But what seems like just an aesthetic habit hides something much deeper, a unique way of giving order to internal chaos. It's not cool. It's not exaggerated perfectionism. Or rather, it's not just that. Those who organize everything by color are not just looking for an impeccable Instagram feed, they are, in fact, translating an emotional need into a visual system. Just imagine, in a world where emotions are abstract, relationships are unpredictable and the future is unknown, colors become anchors. The light blue of the towels isn't just light blue, it's the assurance that, in that corner of the world, at least one thing is exactly where it should be. It's as if, by lining up their notebooks from darkest to lightest, they are saying to themselves, here, I control. Here, it makes sense. And that comes a long way. Many of these people grew up in environments where instability was the rule, whether it was a childhood with unpredictable parents, constant moving to another city, or even a brain that was always working at full speed, with thoughts overlapping like waves in a storm. In this context, colors become a secret language. Red is not just red, it's urgency, it's passion, it's that feeling that you don't know how to name but instantly recognize. The green, calm down. Yellow, alert. By organizing the external world by hues, they are, without realizing it, mapping their own interior. It's as if they were saying, if I can put this in order out here, maybe I can understand what's going on in here. But there is another side to this story, less poetic and more pragmatic. Their brains work like this. Studies suggest that people with traits of ADHD or anxiety often develop visual systems to compensate for difficulty processing information in a linear fashion. While most of us categorize by function, dishes here, cutlery there, they categorize by sensory input. It's not that they are more organized, it's just that they need that extra stimulus for the information to stick. A colorful drawer isn't just pretty, it's a neural shortcut. The brain recognizes the pattern and suddenly finding something becomes automatic. It's as if they created an emotional barcode for their own lives. Of course, there are also those who simply love beauty. For them, a monochromatic closet isn't just functional, it's art. It's the same satisfaction as seeing a perfect sunset or a well-executed painting. There is something almost spiritual about opening the door and finding a harmony of tones, as if, for a moment, the universe was in balance. In this case, organizing by color is not about control, but about celebration. It's proof that, even in everyday life, there is room for poetry. But, and there's always a but, this habit can hide a silent trap. When the need for chromatic order becomes obsessive, when an object out of place causes disproportionate anxiety, or when the person spends more time tidying than living, it is a sign that the anchor has become a chain. What was supposed to be a refuge turns into a prison. And then, the challenge is no longer to organize the colors, but to allow life to sometimes become blurred. If you are one of these people, no, you are not boring, nor are you too rigid. You have found a way to make sense of the world that, for many, seems random. And that, in itself, is already a form of genius. After all, while most people only see objects, you see patterns, emotions, a system. Maybe the secret is not to abandon this organization. Tie on, but let a color slip out of place from time to time. Because life, deep down, is not a perfect gradient, it's a chaotic and beautiful mix of tones that, only when they move away a little, form something bigger. And if today you look at your colorful bookshelf and smile, know that you are looking at much more than books or clothes. You're looking at a map of your mind, at attempts to tame the untamed, at proof that, even in chaos, there is beauty and that, sometimes, we just need to paint the edges to see it. Did you like this reflection? Comment here. Do you also organize everything by color? Or do you know someone like that? Share with those who need to understand that there is magic in small rituals. And if you want more insights like this, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next ones. Until the next color of our conversation. Artist palette. Continuation of the original text, expanded with the above techniques. What if I told you that your need to organize the world in colors is not just a habit, but a language? Think about it. When you line up the books on the shelf from light blue to dark blue, or separate the t-shirts into a pastel gradient, you're not just arranging, you're translating. Translating what? Anxiety in control. Chaos in harmony. The invisible invisible. It's as if your brain says, if I can't predict tomorrow, at least I can guarantee that red will never touch green without a smooth transition. And that, my friend, is not rigidity, it is visual poetry. A way of saying to the universe, here, in this little corner, things make sense. But here comes the question that few ask, what happens when a color escapes? Imagine that, one distracted day, you place a yellow book among the blue ones. At first, it hurts. It seems like an error, a system failure. But what if this failure was precisely the door to something bigger? What if the yellow there, alone among the blues, was a reminder that life doesn't fit into perfect gradients and that, sometimes, the most beautiful thing is the contrasts that we didn't plan? The science behind your mania. Yes, there is science. No, you are not alone in this. Studies in environmental psychology show that people with high sensitivity to visual stimuli, yes, that's a thing, tend to create organizational systems as a way to reduce mental overload. Your brain, without you realizing it, is saying, if the world outside is unpredictable, at least in here I'm in charge. And there's more. Color is not just aesthetic, it's pure emotion. Blue calms you, red energizes you, green connects you with memories. When you organize by color, you are actually mapping your own emotions. That shelf isn't just books, it's a visual diary of what touches you, what scares you, what inspires you. Dramatic pause. What if we told you that you were, unintentionally, an artist? The danger, yes, there is danger too. Now, let's face it, everything in excess becomes prison. If a misplaced book causes you more anguish than a bad day at work, it could be that your organization is serving you, or dominating you. Ask yourself, do I organize because it's good for me, or because I can't relax if I don't do it? If someone messes with my system, can I take a deep breath or do I feel like the world is falling apart? The difference between a ritual and an obsession is flexibility. And life, unfortunately, or fortunately, does not come with a color-coded instruction manual. The magic of deviations, or, why let chaos in a little? Try this, leave a messy drawer for a week. Not out of masochism, but out of curiosity. Watch what happens. At first, it will hurt. You will feel as if something is wrong. But later, you may realize two things. 1. The world did not end. Spoiler, it never ends. 2. You have a strange freedom in not controlling everything. Like letting go of a kite and seeing it fly by itself. This doesn't mean abandoning your system, it means airspace for life to breathe between the lines. Because the best stories are not those with perfect plots, but those with twists, out-of-place colors and endings that we didn't see coming. An invitation, yes, it's for you. Today, do this. 1. Look at your favorite organization, the bookshelf, the closet, the colorful to-do list. 2. Take a photo. Keep it as proof that, yes, you create beauty where others see only objects. 3. Mess something up on purpose. A book in the wrong place. A pen out of order. And then watch, what does this little chaos teach you? Tip, write it down. Because these are the lessons no one teaches you in school. To final, the color that is missing in your rainbow. Do you know what color you never use in your organization? The color of the unpredictable. The one that has no name, that doesn't fit into any category, that appears when you least expect it, like the sunset after the storm, or the laugh that escapes without warning. Perhaps the next step is not to organize better, but to leave space for what doesn't yet have a place. Now, we want to hear from you. White heavy checkmark, what's your safe color? The one you use to calm down. White heavy checkmark, have you ever tried to mess up on purpose? How did you feel? White heavy checkmark, do you know someone who needs to read this? Share. This person may be feeling alone in their way of seeing the world. And don't forget, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next reflection, because life is full of colors, and we're going to explore them all. One at a time. Artist palette sparkles. P.S. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this text resonated with you. Keep that feeling. This is how we recognize the truths that matter. The color that is missing in your rainbow, continued an expansion. What purposely mess reveals about you? Have you ever left a glass out of place just to see how long it would take for someone to notice? Or hidden a random object in the middle of your organized bookshelf, as a silent test for the universe? These small acts of domestic rebellion aren't just games, they're social experiments disguised as chaos. Here's what they reveal. 1. If you mess up and feel relief. You are at war with your own rules. Your mind craves permission to breathe, and the dishevelment is a silent cry, I am not a productivity machine. Hint, your brain may be asking for less should and more want. 2. If you mess up and feel guilty. You have been conditioned to associate order with personal worth. The misplaced pen is not an object, it is a mirror of your self-demand. Key question, if my desk is messy, does that mean I am messy? Spoiler, no. You are human. 3. If you mess up and no one notices. Congratulations, you have discovered a superpower. The world is so focused on itself that your rebellion goes unnoticed, and that is liberating. The lesson? Most of the things you think everyone will judge don't even get noticed. Save that for the next time you're hesitant to wear that weird outfit. 4. If you make a mess and someone fixes it without saying anything. You just exposed a power dynamic. Whoever fixed it thinks order is love, and you think freedom is respect. The conflict isn't about the object, it's about who gets to define what's right in your life. The secret your disorganized sock drawer holds. Think about the last time you looked for something and couldn't find it. What did you feel? Anger. You associate control with security. Resignation. You have already given up fighting against chaos. Relief. Part of you didn't really want to find it, because finding it would mean having to deal with it. Now, the question that hurts, what are you avoiding organizing in real life? A postponed project? A difficult conversation? A dream that seems too big to fit in the drawers of your routine? The physical mess is a map of the emotional mess. And sometimes, the first step isn't to fix it, it's to stop pretending you don't see it. The experiment that will change your week, and have courage. 7 days of conscious chaos challenge. 1. Day 1. Leave the bed unmade on purpose. Notice how it affects your mood. 2. Day 2. Place an object completely out of context, e.g. a spoon on the bookshelf. Note how many people ask about it. 3. Day 3. Don't wash the dinner dishes. Instead, sit on the couch and see what happens in your head. 4. Day 4. Swap the position of 2 pieces of furniture. How does your body react to the wrong space? 5. Day 5. Wear a color you don't wear, that yellow blouse in the back of your closet. How do you feel? 6. Day 6. Leave an important task half done. Does the world end? Or do you find that the world keeps turning? 7. Day 7. Put everything back, but keep one thing out of place. This will be your physical reminder that perfection is an illusion. What will you learn? That 90% of the things you think are obligatory are invented. That the discomfort is temporary, but the freedom it brings is permanent. That you are not your rules, you are the one who creates them, and the one who can break them. The question that will leave you unanswered, and that's good. If you could mess up one area of your life without consequences, what would it be? Work. Arriving late, saying no without explanation. Relationships. Speaking what you really think, even if it's ugly. Self-image. Stop weighing yourself, let your hair grow without a cut. The answer will show you where you are most stuck. And then comes the cruelly beautiful insight. Prison isn't the bars, it's your refusal to kick in the door. For those who need to hear this today. If you're reading this and thinking, but I like order, that's not for me, this message is especially for you. The organization is not the problem. The problem is when it becomes armor. You are no less creative because you like colorful folders. You are no less free for having a detailed agenda. But you're not a machine either. The next time you feel guilty about not following your own system, ask yourself, Am I organizing my life, or hiding it from her? What to do now, if you want to play with me? 1. Choose controlled chaos for this week. It can be small. Don't fold a towel, leave cutlery out of place. 2. Write down how you feel: angry, relieved, guilty. 3. Share in the comments what your experiment was and what you discovered. I promise not to judge. After all, I am the person who wrote a text defending the mess. Reminder: if you've made it this far, it's because some part of you is tired of following invisible rules. This part deserves to be heard. Today. P.S. For those who are still afraid of messing up, you don't need to burn your diary or throw away all your organizers. Start with this. Leave it. 1. Thing. Outside. Do. Place. Just one. And watch what happens inside you. Sometimes the revolution starts with a pen on the floor. Writing hand #explosion symbol. The illusion of the perfect organization, and why your mess can be your greatest ally. Have you ever stopped to think that organization is the only form of chaos that society approves of? It seems contradictory, but it's true. While a messy desk is seen as a lack of discipline, a busy schedule until the last minute is praised as productivity. As if filling empty spaces of time, of drawers, of expectations, were synonymous with success. But here's the secret no one tells you. The most organized people you know are not necessarily the happiest. They are often the ones who most fear the void. What is your need for control hiding? 1. The myth of life under control. Have you ever noticed how we associate order with security? As if, by aligning the books by color, we could, somehow, also align the uncertainties of life. If I keep everything in place, nothing will catch me by surprise. If I follow the plan, I won't get lost. But life is not a kitchen cabinet. And the best things, love, creativity, opportunities rarely arrive in neat packages. 2. The performative productivity trap. How many times have you organized something just to feel in control, even without a real need? That folder of documents that you will never open again, but is impeccably labeled. The to-do list you make just to cross off items and have the illusion of progress. This is not organization. It's an anxiety ritual in disguise. 3. The price of perfection. Every minute spent adjusting margins, reviewing lists, or rearranging objects is a minute stolen from spontaneity. How many brilliant ideas have you missed because you were too busy optimizing instead of creating? How many deep conversations have you put off because it wasn't the right time? Excessive organization is not a habit. It's a symptom. And what is she trying to cure? The strategic power of chaos, or letting things get out of control, can be revolutionary. 1. Mess as creative fuel. Studies show that slightly messy environments stimulate creativity. Why? The brain associates disorder with possibility. A desk full of loose papers could be the start of a great idea, or at least an unexpected connection. Perfection paralyzes. When everything is in place, the mind goes into automatic mode. Chaos, on the other hand, forces the brain to improvise. 2. The relief of not being a machine. Have you ever noticed how the most organized people are often the most exhausted? They waste mental energy maintaining facades. They live in a state of hypervigilance, always on the lookout for something that could get out of control. Leaving something out of place is not a mistake. It is an act of rebellion against the tyranny of efficiency. 3. The magic of empty spaces. A calendar with free schedules is not wasted time. There is room for chance. A messy drawer is not sloppy. It could be a sign that you are living more than you are archiving. Life doesn't fit in folders. And that's not a problem, it's an invitation. Radical experiment. 7 days of conscious chaos. If you've come this far, it's because some part of you is tired of following rules that you didn't even create yourself. So let's do a test. For 1 week, choose an area of your life and white heavy checkmark, leave the dishes in the sink until the next day, guilt-free. White heavy checkmark, don't make the bed, and observe how you feel. White heavy checkmark, leave an important project unfinished, without forcing closure. White heavy checkmark, say later to something you would normally do right away, just to feel the weight of the choice. White heavy checkmark, walk around the house and leave 3 objects out of place: a book on the table, a mug on the table, a coat on the chair. The objective is not to become permanent chaos. It's about breaking the spell of obligation and discovering what happens when you stop obeying your own system. Which tasks do you do out of real necessity and which are just anxiety rituals? What appears in the space you left empty? Tip: write down your findings. Most people are surprised by what they find. The big question nobody asks, but you should. What are you avoiding by keeping everything perfect? Fear of judgment. If my house is messy, they'll think I'm irresponsible. Fear of failure. If I don't control everything, something will go wrong. Afraid of freedom. If I don't have rules, I'll get lost. The inconvenient truth. Your need for organization could be protecting you from something much bigger than a messy drawer. What if, instead of fighting the clutter, you listened to what it was trying to tell you? For those who are still afraid to release, one step at a time. I'm not asking you to throw your schedule out the window or become a human tornado. I am proposing a trust exercise. 1. Choose a rule that you follow without question, e.g., I have to answer emails the same day. 2. Break her. Once, just to see what happens. Will the world end? Probably not. Will you feel guilty? Perhaps. Write down that feeling. Will something unexpected arise? That's the point. 3. Ask yourself, what does this rule actually protect me from? And what does it stop me from? Remember, organization is a tool, not an identity. You are not your colorful folders. You are not your impeccable schedule. You are what happens when you stop policing yourself. What to do now, if you want to play with me? 1. Do the 7-day experiment, or just 1, if you prefer, and write down your findings. 2. Share in the comments. Which rule did you break? What did you feel? What did you learn? I read them all, and I love stories about people who dared to mess up a little. 3. Save this text for when your guilt about not doing enough hits again. Because the revolution does not begin with grand gestures. It starts when you drop your pen on the floor, and don't pick it up. Writing hand #explosion symbol. PS for those who need to hear this today. If you're reading this at 3 a.m., feeling like nothing is right in your life, breathe. Clutter is not your enemy. She is proof that you are alive and not a robot following scripts. Sometimes the tidiest thing you can do is leaving some things disorganized.